So our annual trip to Raaswater begins. It's a trip that we look forward to every year just to spend time with family and to celebrate my dad's birthday. As we're up, we have a good look around just to see where the fish activity is happening. And of course, with the excitement, it's time to get out the gear, start getting ready to feed up. Using a mixture of boilies that can be bought at S&Z Tackle, we get them prepared and ready for some action. After finding some areas where fish had been showing, we decided to get out the spam and bait up the area. On my rods, I'm fishing probably around 6 to 8 spams per rod, really just making sure that the fish know where it's lunchtime. My brother, fishing very similar to me, is just using a boilie pipe, just baiting up with a couple of boilies. He doesn't want to feed his area just yet, as he's not comfortable with where his rods are going to be situated. Again, just the excitement of being at the river after lockdown is an incredible feeling. Once our areas were baited up, it was time to get our rigs checked before we get those lines into the water. Fishing on some Ronnie rigs as well as T-rigs. The bait that we chose for this trip was a krill pop-up from Invoke Baits. Shortly after, we had our rods in the water, and it was only a matter of time before we could land one. This was the first of the beauties to come out of the water. It was time to put him back in. Not long after, my brother, who had also baited up a little area on the right, was onto a fish. And little did he know what was coming out on that end.
Largemouth yellow, caught on a krill wafter on a D-rig. A new PB for me at a yellow PB at 8.1 kg. It's time to get wet.
Nice one, boy.
Oh.
After taking some pictures, it was time to get this beauty of a largemouth yellow back into the river. But again, catching this really gave us motivation to get our lines back in. After seeing that beauty of a fish, it was time to get our bivvy set up. Sun was quickly going down, so we needed to be prepared for a long night of fishing and sit behind a lovely fire. Unfortunately, the night wasn't very productive, but we persevered and was up at the crack of dawn, again just sighting where some of the fish activity was, and preparing ourselves mentally for the morning ahead. An absolutely gorgeous day for fishing. My brother and I, as well as my dad, were up and ready, and we knew that within a matter of hours, we were going to be on to fish. It wasn't long, halfway through the morning, and we had a screaming. Before we could get this beauty into our sling, my brother had a screaming take on his side as well. So that proved to be an awesome morning with a double take. Okay, so we got a double take here. Mine on a spinner rig with a krill pop-up.
Mine on the dairy, tiger nut and fake mesh.
Okay, so it looks like it's bite time. Let's get them back in the water quickly. After catching quite a few fish during the course of that day, we decided to get ready for some night fishing yet again. Of course, it was a busy day of bringing in some fish. Unfortunately, the sizes weren't anything to brag about, but nevertheless, we had some exciting reel runs. Once again, it was about picking the spots that were working for us throughout this holiday, making sure they were baited up sufficiently, and get ready for our night. And as expected, the night started to produce, with a beautiful common waking me up at 12 o'clock. It was a bit disappointing that it wasn't a big eye, but nevertheless still happy. A couple of moments later, the second rod was off, and this one was a bit of a chunky. This fish looks like he's gonna have some good potential in the future. So it's day 3 fishing here at Raaswater. It's been quite a good session. We've caught a total of about 13 carp so far with 2 barbel. Some of the fish you've seen were just the ones that were caught within the first 2 days of us fishing. The rest I haven't really taken any videos or pictures of. There haven't been any bigger fish since then. The fishing's been quite good, you know, just picking the right spots, you know, feeding those areas have really paid off. We've had like maybe, you know, 3 to 4 takes, you know, just in one feeding spell, whatever the case is. But yeah, overall fishing's been good. The wind's been a bit crazy for the past 2 days, so we've just taken out our rods, just also resting to swim a bit. Once the wind subsides, we'll start spotting out again, and then hopefully get a couple more to end off the session.
First fish for me, 3rd day. Caught on a krill pop-up on a spinner rig. I just left the boys to fish for 2 days, but today I'm gonna start to show them who's the man. Who's your daddy? Okay guys, second fish for the day on a krill pop-up. Getting bigger and bigger. I'm here to show the boys.
Unfortunately, that was the only action that my dad had, so there was no other opportunity for him to show the boys. Nevertheless, this trip was really an amazing one, just to spend time with family and just to enjoy the sight of nature. Unfortunately, the day didn't produce any more fish, but it was something for us to reflect on. During lockdown, we couldn't really be at a dam or river, so we would look at our phones and look at the pictures of recent captures and, you know, just go back to all of those trips that we had. And that's really what's inspired this video, so that we could just have some video document of our trips together as a family. And even though we're fishing specimen, it really doesn't matter what the size is, but it's just about making memories and of course giving something for people to watch and enjoy. With the last night fast approaching, it was quite a sore sight to know that we'd have to go home the next day. The fishing activity was quite slow for the rest of the day, but that night saw a beautiful common of around 6 kilos being brought out by my brother. Again, not a massive fish, but really just something to admire on our last night. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, please like our page on YouTube, and we'll be sure to bring you more content. Take care.